Hello, viewers. You are watching WSTV. Continuing the ground offensive against Palestine alongside aerial bombings, Israel has sent finally tanks to Gaza and West Bank as part of its Iron Swords military operation. Israel has declared that no humanitarian break will be given to the siege until its hostages are freed by Hamas. It has even turned down the appeal by Red Cross to supply fuel for electricity to save the hospitals from turning into living morgues. Red Cross has declared that the situation at Gaza would become unmanageable in few hours, leading to mass deaths if this blockade is not lifted. Meanwhile, Hamas has declared that the news and videos being circulated in media of brutalities on women and children by Hamas or Palestinians are totally false and manufactured lies and slanders to defame Palestinians and Hamas. US has declared 8 billion support for Israeli offensive against Palestinian and US State Secretary is on the visit to Middle East to muster support for Israeli military expedition. The proclaimed purpose of this expedition is extinction of Palestine and mass slaughter of Palestinians. Israeli ministry says that death toll in Israel since Hamas attack on Saturday, that is 7th October, has crossed 1200. 2,700 are wounded, while scores were taken hostage in Hamas attack, according to Israel. Death toll in Gaza during Israeli attack has also risen to 1,200, with more than 5,600 Palestinians got wounded. Israeli forces have placed Gaza Strip, a 40-kilometer long enclave of 2.3 million, under complete siege, stopping its food and fuel supplies. These forces are targeting the civilian habitats and are not sparing even hospitals, schools, and even UN shelters. Already, 340,000 people were homeless in Gaza, taking shelters in UN sponsored shanties or makeshift tents. Israeli bombs have also hit southern Lebanon, its towns from where Hezbollah has attacked Israeli forces. Israeli attack is being carried out with full support of US and its western allies, that is Britain, France, Italy and Germany, while the countries of Middle East remain almost passive onlookers to the mass slaughter by Israeli forces. Egypt is partner of Israel in operation of Palestine. Egypt itself has carried out the blockade of Palestine hand in hand with Israeli occupiers. News sources have told that hours before the Hamas attack on Saturday, Egyptian intelligence agencies had conveyed the secret information before the attack, hours before it. Despite the Egyptian intelligence reports, Benjamin Netanyahu has permitted the attack to take place. Through it, the ruling elite has succeeded in diverting the mass anger away from its misrule outside of the border. Netanyahu has been recently facing corruption charges and is being tried for that in court of law, an Israeli court of law. His anti-people policies that include judicial reforms to undermine the authority of constitution and the democracy itself has enraged the masses of Israeli working people. Israel and Afghanistan have supported the cause of Palestine and have opposed Israeli attack upon Palestine. Other Middle East countries are also being pressured to oppose Israeli attack. Recently, Saudi Arabia has called for immediate halt to its Israeli attack. It has termed the Hamas attack as legitimate resistance to Israeli occupation and continuous provocations. Qatar has also expressed similar warnings. Iran backed organizations active in Iraq have threatened that US installations in the region would be targeted if US supports Israeli offensive militarily. Houthi rebels in Yemen have also issued similar warning to US and its Western allies. Apart from occupying Gaza Strip and West Bank, Israel has promoted settlements on Palestinian territory and has repeatedly carried out provocations at Al-Aqsa Mosque, considered to be sanctity among Palestinian population. Day before yesterday, since Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, had declared that people of India stand with Israel in this difficult hour of need, organizations associated with right-wing Sangh Parivar have launched a media war, a full-fledged media war against Palestine and in favor of Israel. Opposition parties, both Congress and the left, though, remain in the lurch with no clear stand on Palestine issue. Palestine question has drawn a deep wedge in the world. While the ruling elite of US and its Western allies are supporting Israeli offensive against poor Palestine, the world stands in favor of Palestinian cause. The working and toiling people of entire world, they stand with Palestine. They oppose the operation of Palestine in their opposition to Hamas attack, terming it a terrorist act. The leaders of imperialism are in fact covering up innumerable crimes of successive Israeli governments in killing, wounding, humiliating the innocent Palestinians and occupying their territory. It is not Palestinian people, but the Israeli elite that is solely responsible for the rise of forces like Hamas. Israel never had any respect for sovereignty of Palestine. The UN resolutions or even the elected civilian Palestinian Authority. Palestinian people were left with no alternative but to organize themselves in resistance around the organizations like Hamas. Claim of Israeli ruling elite and its Western cohorts that the Palestinian resistance is terrorism or is based on anti Semitic sentiments is absolutely false and false to the core. The ruling elite of Israel does in no way represent the Jewry that was oppressed in the last century, nor is it the representative of such oppressed ethnicity. What it represents today is the Zionist imperialism that is closely associated with the US NATO imperialists who were either home to fascism during World War II. We can cite the example of Italy, Germany, or they have sheltered fascists after the World War II. Recently, Canadian Parliament had felicitated Yaroslav Hunka, a 98-year-old Ukrainian Nazi who had worked in Waffen Grenadier Unit of Nazi SS military unit and was responsible for brutal extermination of hundreds of Jews during occupation of Ukraine by Germany during World War II. Hunka is not alone. US and Western countries had been mass refuge for Nazi and fascist leaders after World War II, as these leaders were used by Western imperialists against Soviet Russia. In the age of unbridled imperialism, and continuing infinite imperialist rivalries, establishment of state of Palestine is next to impossible. And we must recognize this fact. No doubt, Hamas and its Palestinian supporters are chasing an unrealizable dream, landlocked by Israel on one side and Egypt on the other. Palestine has become a sandwich in Middle East. The national liberation movement of Palestine has also suffered political decay, more and more shifting to the right. Organizations like Hamas have a reactionary communal coloring and are definitely devoid of any progressive political essence. And we have no hesitation in saying and in admitting it. Even an independent Palestine under leadership of Hamas and like it, other reactionary movements cannot promise or deliver anything better for working and toiling masses of Palestine. Rivalry among bourgeois nation states has become dominant feature of the imperialist world. Not only Palestine, but entire Middle East and West Asia are simmering amidst these rivalries. The spiraling crisis that had exploded into Spring Revolution a decade back is fuming once again. Starting with Palestine conflict, it may snowball anytime into a full-fledged regional war that may drag all nations in the region into the whirlpool of a war that may result in nuclear holocaust. While supporting the cause of Palestinians for national liberation and their right to self-determination, we thus appeal to the working and toiling masses of both Palestine and Israel to scale over the national, ethnic, and religious divides and unite in common struggle against the Zionist regime of Israeli elite for establishment of a socialist union of Middle East and West Asia. We recommend this as the only path to freedom, to liberation, to peace and socialism. Thank you for being with us, friends. Red salute to you all, and we repeat our pledge to continue our struggle against imperialism, capitalism, and fascism and war. With this, we again salute you and take permission from you.